These are my kitties. They're cute, but my goodness, they're a lot of work. I hope it's worth it. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, July the 31st, 2023, vlog number 323. And hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope the weather was nice and not too hot. Well, who knows, right? But anyways, let's jump right into what I've been working on. These are some projects you've already seen. They're at various stages now. And the first one, of course, is the Tom T. And the Tom T is the little elfie Nomi-like guy, and I've done him in Christmas fabrics, and he is now completely finished. So he is all bound and he has been quilted, and I really love the way he turned out. I even added a freestanding lace snowflake to his little ball on the end of his hat too. So yeah, that one's done, and that's great, and I love it so much. And it is a good size. I originally thought I might give it away as a Christmas present. I may still do that, but I don't think I'm going to. I like it so much, and you know, it wasn't a hard pattern to do, but it was a bit tedious. So I think it may be attractively draped over the back of a couch during the Christmas season. Okay, excuse me. And let's go to the next thing. I'm still working on the Cat Scratch quilt by Art East Quilting Company. You can see I've got a few more blocks done. The big cat down here, he still has another block to go, and then I can put all these three pieces together. And this is one of two cats that are scratching. And so I've got to put together the scratch marks. I love the way this is coming together. Again, this one's a little tedious. There's a lot of little pieces, and it's very, very easy to screw up your cutting, and it's very, very easy to put in pieces upside down. Ask me how I know. I know because I've done it and had to do some tearing out. And if you saw last week's Idiot Quilter, you know exactly what I'm talking about because I mentioned it there. But anyways, it's coming along nicely. Will I do another one of these in the future? Well, maybe. If one grabs my attention, but not immediately. I have other projects on, in my list of things I need to get done. So that takes me to the YouTube Rented Lips YouTube channel of the week. And, who doesn't buy from Amazon? You know me, I have a saying, if it's a day without sunshine if Amazon doesn't deliver, kind of a thing, right? A day without Amazon is a day without sunshine. That's what I always say. But if you're like me too, sometimes you're a little worried about a product that you might be thinking of paying for and ordering. And so you probably go to the Amazon reviews to see what other people have said about that. Are there fake reviews? Apparently, yes, there are. And I mean, that's not a surprise, is it? However, there is a YouTube video I found where a guy goes extensively into how Amazon reviews are faked and what the scandal is. And I found this very interesting. So I'm going to say more about that in a moment here. This week's YouTube video is one I think is very interesting and gives you lots to think about when you're buying something from Amazon. Now, I don't know about you, but oftentimes when I'm looking at to buy a certain product and I know very little about that product, or I know very little about the supplier of the product, I will turn to Amazon reviews to see what other people have said about the product. And those are very handy because you trust that people are actually telling you what is good and what is bad about the product, or about the seller, or about the shipping, all those kind of things. But that brings up the question, are there fake reviews? Can you trust the reviews? Well, I'm sure most people have heard that there are fake reviews on Amazon, but how do you spot them? Well, this particular video called the Amazon Review Scandal, the individual who put this up, he goes into great detail about talking about how you can tell whether or not a review is actually reliable or not, or whether it's a fraud. And you'll be surprised at how, well, maybe you won't be surprised how people make money by setting up agencies that will create, for a price, fake reviews for almost any product that Amazon has listed. So I found this really informative. It now doesn't mean I won't stop reading reviews, but it does give me an idea as to what I should look out for if I think, whether or not I believe a review is fake or the genuine thing. So I think you should check this out, because if you buy a lot of things from Amazon, if you turn to the review section all the time, then this information is valuable. So you'll find the listing for that particular video in the show notes below. You'll find a listing for 2 upcoming events. One, of course, is the weekly Sew with Stephanie and Stephen episode. We do that every Wednesday, and it's become a very regular thing, and it's become usually a whole day thing. So if you're looking for a midweek sew session, join us. The link for that is below. And of course, I am going to have another pop-up sew day, and that's going to take place this coming Saturday, August the 5th, starting at 8 a.m. Now, here in our province, and in most of the provinces across Canada, it is the long weekend. We call it the civic holiday weekend. I think the technical name for it in Ontario is Lord Simcoe Day, but each province calls it something different. But it is a long weekend. However, we don't have any plans, so it's not like we're busting off to the cottage. We don't own a cottage. So I thought, yeah, let's do a pop-up sew day. And I hope that many of you will be able to join me. So the link for that is in the show notes below. Those of you on the mailing list, I just sent out before I started recording this. I don't know what's wrong with my throat. Excuse me for that. I have sent out a notice of pop-up sew day to everybody on my mailing list as well. So hope to see you then. That's this Saturday, August the 5th, starting at 8 a.m. You can come and go as you please. You don't have to be there right at 8 a.m. Okay, there's a list to all my friends' YouTube channels. If you haven't checked them out, you must, because you don't know what you're missing. And there is several links to last week's videos as well. And so that takes me now to looking outside my window. What kind of day are we having today? Well, we are having, and let me get it here. It looks like it's going to be a nice day. Sky is blue, grass is green. Temperature-wise, have no idea. I suppose I could look on my phone or on my watch, actually, it'll tell me. Well, right now it is a brisk 14 with a high of 24. So that's not bad. Very comfortable day. So yeah, looks good out there. So that takes me to what's pissing me off this week. And it's not really something that's pissing me off. But I thought I should address it anyways. If you talk to YouTube creators, well, first of all, let's back up. YouTube creators. I'm a YouTube creator, and you watch a lot of YouTube creators. And by nature of the beast, you probably think most of us are very, very outgoing, social butterfly kind of people, love an audience, love to be in front of an audience, and all that kind of stuff. Surprisingly, what I hear from a lot of YouTube creators that I talk to is the exact opposite. Most of them say they are or characterize themselves as an introvert, which is the exact opposite of what you would expect from somebody who's a YouTube channel creator. And to a certain degree, I understand what they're saying, because I kind of consider myself an introvert too. However, I'm used to being up in front of people and speaking. Did it my whole life as a school teacher, for one thing. And that wasn't just in front of kids. I had to give presentations to my colleagues. I had to go to conferences. I was guest speaker at some of those and things like that. And yes, I was a little nervous about doing it, but I never let that hold me back because it was the nature of my job. But you put me in a room for a social event with a bunch of people I don't know, I can tend to be a bit of an introvert. However, I get over that very quickly. But I hear other ones talk about how they were really hesitant about starting a YouTube channel because of their introvertedness and that kind of thing. And yet you get them in front of a camera and they're pretty good. They're very good, actually. So I think we do ourselves as YouTube creators an injustice by labeling ourselves as introverts. I guess it depends on your definition of an introvert. If you're somebody who's a little bit shy, a little bit apprehensive about getting up in front of a room full of strangers and speaking, well, that is a form of introversion, for introvertedness, this throat. And yeah, however, I think we all probably survive doing YouTubes is because we create a persona. Yes, a persona. I know I do. When I get in a situation where I'm in front of a bunch of strangers, but I have to speak, I have to make my presence known, I become a character in my head. And I have done this for so many years. It is second nature to me. It just clicks right in. And I guess maybe with practice that has become part of my character, I think. But when you're talking about something you are interested in, when you're doing something that you have a real love for, like making YouTube videos or that kind of thing, I think that turns you away from the introvert and puts you more into the extrovert. Now, sometimes extroverts have a bad label or a bad rep. Because when you hear of an extrovert, sometimes you think of somebody who walks into a room and sucks all the oxygen out of it. You know, you can't shut them up. Well, yes, there are people like that, and they are annoying, to say the least. But that's not really the definition of extrovert. Extrovert means somebody who's outgoing. Now, as YouTube creators, we are outgoing. We are sharing our lives with you. That's outgoing. We are talking to you. Because if we don't have you, we don't have an audience. What's the point of doing this, right? If no one's watching or listening, there is no point. So we are social creatures to a certain degree as well. We might be a little apprehensive about that social contact, but we have to be a little bit social to get whatever we're talking about across. Now, we do draw the line though. Okay. There's a screen between the two of us right now. Okay. And that's my safe zone. I am recording this. That is part of my safe zone. Yes, I do lives as well. That lessens the safety factor because there are other people there in real time. But basically, we sit here in front of a screen and you can't get at us. Thank goodness we don't have interactive screens like where you could reach out and choke me because you might want to. However, so that breaks down a little bit of our possible introvertness as well. Is introvertness a word? It is now. So, you know, that helps us with this kind of thing. But for the most part, when I hear a YouTube creator say they're an introvert, I say, BS to that. You really aren't. If you really analyze your inner self, you know you can rise to the occasion, you know you can get up in front of strangers, and you know you can deliver a message to them without any problem. And with practice, as I've said, it gets easier all the time. And I think that's a good thing. In fact, I would encourage you, if you've been thinking about doing a YouTube channel, but you tend to think of yourself as an introvert, do a YouTube channel. You'll get over the introvertness. It helps. It definitely helps. And knowing that you have the ability to edit whatever comes out of your mouth before the public sees it, hears it, is another safety factor for you as well, or a comfort factor. Now, I throw that factor right out the window, as you well know, because I don't edit. I probably should, but I don't. Okay? But anyways, I say to people who are YouTube creators, when they say to me, I'm an introvert, I go, no, you're not. You just need a little bit more practice in talking to people. Yeah. So I thought I'd bring that up today. All right. That takes me to New products. Yes, I do have a new product that I'm quite excited about and quite loving to show you, and this is it. It is an iPad iPhone articulated stand. It says it's a tablet stand holder, 360-degree phone, iPad, tripod mount, 27-inch long arm webcam stand, projector, camera mount, 4 desk, fit for 4.7-inch to 13-inch devices, iPad Pro, 12.9 Air Mini, Galaxy Tab, Switch, iPhone. Boy, whoever's selling this wanted to get everything in there, didn't they? I already have a couple, not of this style, that I was really loving, but they are breaking down. Well, one is broken, so I had to replace it. It happens with use and time. But I analyzed what the flaw was in the design of those particular ones and decided that this one would be a better bet. Now, it's not expensive, it's not cheap. $37.95 Canadian. Free shipping because I have Prime, and I'm loving it right now. It does what I want to do. In fact, I'm loving it so much, I'm thinking of buying a second one, because those of you that come to one of my pop-up sew days or to Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen on a regular basis know that over by my sewing machine, I have an iPad mini and I have an old iPhone, both there. They are part of what I use when I'm doing the Zoom link. And that's why I need them on these kind of holders, because they're up out of the way, but they're right at my fingertips kind of a thing. So this one I'm very pleased with. I have put did I put a link? No, I did not put a link for it in the show notes, but I will I? Yeah, I will. No, I won't. Yes, I will. I will, if you're interested in checking it out. Now, there are many, many different stands you can get, so you got to find one that suits your needs, but this one I like because it clamps to the edge of the table that my sewing machine sits on, and that's a good thing for me, but you may not want one that clamps. And by the way, if you're worried about whether it'll fit on your table or not, go down into the specs when you look for this, because it tells you how wide that clamp is, but it'll handle a good probably 3-inch thick ledge. So anyways, that's what I bought this week, and I don't regret the purchase. Okay, so that takes me to the grow light project. How are things going with our grow lights? Well, as you can see, nothing. Walter cleaned these all out. We transplanted a lot of the plants that were in these to our container garden outside. I have a picture of what that looks like in a moment for you as well. So our 2 grow lights are empty, although Walter yesterday planted seeds. He planted lettuce, more lettuce than these ones. Our theory is we have lettuce outside, but you know, by the time we're finished with the lettuce outside, the lettuce inside will be coming along very nicely. Lettuce under grow lights seems to work really, really well. Probably start some more peppers. The peppers, though, under the grow lights don't get that big. They're fine. But yeah, I don't know. I think we'll plant a few more of those. And we'll probably plant some more basil as well. Right now, peppers, basil, tomatoes, and lettuce are all outside in our container garden, as are our onions. And here's what's happening with the other grow light. We still have a few peppers indoors, and you can see they're not a bad size. And these have all gone to orangey yellow. They didn't start out as orangey yellow. So I guess we're at that point where we've had them growing there for quite a while, that they do change color over length of time. Green ones are very not as ripe, I guess, and then they go to red, I think, and then I guess they go to orange and yellow. I don't think it's different seed varieties. It could be. I don't know. I'm not a botanist, so maybe somebody out there who knows more about green peppers can tell me that. Actually, I just noticed this one over here at the far side. It's quite big. So yeah, we'll maybe try some more tomatoes. The tomatoes sort of work. They took a long time. And tomatoes do. And they were seeds that I bought from Amazon. I think we'll use a different type of seed, because these were a mixed tomato seed, and there was just some of them in there that didn't really like the tomatoes that were with them. So we continue the experiment. Meanwhile, though, out on our deck, our garden is doing very nicely. You can see the peppers in the foreground, lots of tomato plants. The tomatoes are a little later this year. Now I said to Walter, is that because, we got them outside? Those tomatoes were not started from seed outside. Those were all transplanted from the ones we started in under the grow lights, and they're doing well out there. We do have some basil way back in the far part of the picture. You can see it, and there's a few other little plants, and there's our lettuce and our onions, and the lettuce are from seed, so they're coming along. In another few weeks we'll have lots of lettuce, and I'm looking forward to that because we have not been eating the salads we should be eating lately, because I'm loath to spend $4 on a head of iceberg lettuce. So having our own will be nice. So yep, gardening is coming along nicely. And the squirrels have not started eating our tomatoes yet, but they're waiting. Those little rascals. When I say little rascals, it means I want to run you over with my car kind of thing. Are just waiting until they just get ripe enough, and then they'll go out and they'll grab it, take a bite, and leave it on the deck railing to show us, haha, beat you. They're like that. Nasty little creatures. But they're so fluffy. Yeah, okay. So, what else? Okay, let's talk about 3D printing. Well, you know that my printers go 24/7. Right now, they're silent. Okay, on purpose. I giving a little break today. I had to do some reconditioning. And this is something that you will find over time as you have your machines for any length of time. I've had my machines now for, my first one I got maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, I think it's been about 3 years. And they were giving me bad prints. No matter what I did, I'd re-leveled the beds, everything like that. I was getting, rough prints, meaning that they weren't really doing the layers properly in the plastic, and they were looking like crap. So I decided, okay, you need to rip the suckers apart, clean everything up, replace a few pieces, and go from there. And that's what I did, and they're running beautifully again. Now, it took several hours to do all of that, and it's not really frustrating to do it. Not now. It would have been back a year ago if I tried to do this, because I've constantly learned. And that's what I say about 3D printers. If you love to tinker with mechanical things, then you would love a 3D printer, because you're going to have to tinker with it a lot. I keep a ready supply of replaceable parts in stock all the time, because you have to replace nozzles. I had to replace a hot end last week. A little bit more involved than just replacing a nozzle, but very doable. It's not difficult once you've done it once. And everything is running fine right now. Leveling the beds, I've had to go back to my old school method for leveling the beds. For some reason, the little device that I bought, which was working pretty good for quite a while, doesn't seem to be working as well. I have a feeling that it's wearing out. It's gotten warped because it's a little platform thing. I've shown it on previous videos before, and I think maybe over time it's just, it's out of alignment, or it's putting my bed out of alignment. Anyways, that's okay. I can do old school. That's not hard. So anyways, yeah, just to let you know, if you buy a 3D printer, it will not, even if you get one that does pretty much fill the requirements for plug and play, you will have to maintain it, and maintaining it often means replacing parts. Okay, so just be prepared for that. It's an ongoing kind of expense. Parts are not that bad price-wise, but yeah, if you don't really want to spend the money on maintenance and things like that, you may not want to get a 3D printer. Okay, so that takes me to Blasts from the Past trips. Continuing with Australia in 2016. This was a show put on for the tourists, of course. Aboriginal show. They've got a didgeridoo out there. If you don't know what didgeridoo is, you will know after you see this video. Long tubular thing that makes a really weird noise. But very interesting culturally to see this show. I'm not sure in this day and age if something like this show is actually politically correct. You can be the judge.
Through trading and through sharing, we always have to thank Uncle Jalu. He's the custodian and the keeper of the law and the story of the didgeridoo. I'll give our utmost respect to Uncle Jalu and thank him for allowing us to share his story and his law with the rest of the world. So I hope you guys enjoy the ditch, and we'll be back out soon for some more song and dance. Thank you.
Into the night sky. The dust creating the Milky Way, and termites becoming the stars. Yidaki tribe to imitate the sound of the wind. He went back to his people.
When he got in trouble, he killed him.
Telling him to return the log to the bush. Yidaki went back to the bush, but instead of returning the log, he began to practice. He soon discovered that by making a loose lip vibration with his lips, he could create a sound. By breathing through his nose, he wipes it away. Yidaki mimicked the movements of the sounds of the animals he saw. The kangaroo jumping.
Mop.
Today, the didgeridoo is an icon of our country. Traditionally, it is a ceremonial instrument named after its founder, Yidaki.
Thank you.
So that takes me to events in the past week. Well, we took my sister to Costco. All right, you're going to say, big deal. Yeah, well, it was for her because she's never been to a Costco. Can you believe it? Are there still people out there that have never been to a Costco? And I'm sure some of you in the comments are going to say, yes, I never go to Costco because I don't need 12 large cans of diced tomatoes. I don't need a year's worth of paper towels. I don't need a 2-bucket drum of Nutella. And that may be true. However, Costco is so much more than that. And the only reason I took my sister was because she sent me a message on Wednesday last week and said, hi, if you're planning to go to Costco in the near future, could you pick me up a tub of that potato salad? Now, Costco has really good potato salad, okay? And you get a huge tub of it for like $7.99 or $8.99 Canadian. It's almost a staple around here in the summer months. If you come to my place for dinner, for a barbecue, you're going to get Costco potato salad. And I make no bones about it because everybody that tries it loves it. And so, why make it when you can get something that's just as good, if not better, than what you make? Anyways, my sister had been here for dinner one night and I served it and they really liked it. And her husband wanted her to get some because he had some kind of event happening at his workplace. And I guess he was in charge of getting the food for it. And he wanted some of this potato salad. Of course, I said to her, sure. Well, yeah, I'm not sure when I'm going again next time. I mean, we usually go to Costco once every 2 weeks or something, or sooner than that. It depends on what we need. I said, I'll pick you up some. She says, yeah. She says, I kind of need it by Friday. Okay. What you're telling me is you're not asking me about going to Costco. You're telling me I need to go to Costco to get you potato salad. All right, fine. And then she decided she'd like to go along with it. I said, okay, great. I told her how it works, the membership and everything like that. Now, first of all, that's the stumbling point for many people, and it was for my sister, is getting a membership to Costco because it's a bit of a commitment. Memberships aren't that bad in price, but when you go and do your regular shopping in other stores where you don't need a membership, it does seem like a little bit of an expense. But as far as we're concerned, it pays for itself because we do a lot of shopping there. And then, so I took her in and we looked around. We got her potato salad, or a couple of other things she wanted for this party. But everything I suggested to her that we usually buy, like salsa. We get 2 large bottles of salsa for $6.99, something like that. And we do eat a lot of salsa on things. She goes, oh, well, I never use that. Okay. We never eat tacos. Well, salsa's good on other things too, But whatever. But everything I pointed out to her, she poo-pawed. And she's not any different from a lot of people that I've talked to who have never had a Costco membership. The same thing. I don't work for Costco and they don't sponsor me. But personally, for us, having a membership at Costco is worth it. It pays for itself. In fact, we have an executive membership. We're trying it out. It's double the cost. I think a regular membership costs you about $60 a year. An executive is $120. You get 2% of whatever you spend in a year back. Well, if you're buying some big ticket items, that can add up. But for us, I think what will end up happening is it'll probably be just enough to renew our membership next year. And that's okay. That's okay. There's a few other bonuses to having an executive membership too, but but you don't have to have an executive membership to get full value out of Costco. Just buy the what I call peasant level, the $60 one. Again, these are Canadian prices. Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't think she'll buy a membership, because she basically talked herself out of it. I think she was pretty much determined that she was going to go and look around, but it didn't fit her criterion, and she wasn't buying a membership no matter what. So, anyways, that was fine. Okay, so Ultimate Sewing had a garage sale. It was an end of the bolt sale. So if you bought a bolt of fabric and the whole bolt, whatever was left on it, you got 25% off. And I got some deals while I was there. I also got a real surprise, but I'm not going to tell you about that today. I'm going to tell you about that tomorrow on the episode of Idiot Quilter. So you'll have to tune in if you want to find out what that was all about and see the haul as well. So that was about the week. So again, coming up, Pop-Up Sew Day on Saturday, August the 5th, 8 a.m. start time. Come and go as you please. Link is in the show notes below. And I have sent out to everybody on my mailing list, as I already said, an announcement about it with the link. If you want to be on the mailing list, all you have to do is send me a note, an email. My email address is in the show notes below. It's always there, and I'll be more than happy to put you on the mailing list as well. Okay, I don't think there's anything else to tell you. So I hope you have a great week. Tune in to Idiot Quilter tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.